Hello there. So we've got Christmas coming up for sure, and there's the word festival and holiday on the front of this clip. But this clip is hopefully going to help you with all festivals, Halloween and Easter and any local festivals, all of them, not just Christmas. But there's one thing that all these festivals have in common, I think, and that is their unfortunate effect on us teachers sometimes, especially in the last lesson, penultimate lessons before these festivals, or if there are classes on the same day. I think that teachers, we're a funny old bunch, but we do suffer a lot of guilt, and we feel guilty for giving our students a normal class on one of these days. Now, the thing is, I think that if you're going to give an English lesson or a language lesson, any lesson at all, on any given day, it might as well be a good one. For yourself, for your own dignity, and for yourself as a professional, and for the benefit of your students. And the problem is that if we work from a kind of guilt-driven paradigm that we've got to provide something that's fun for our students in these last few lessons before a festival or during a festival, we often end up scrabbling around on the internet for, so-and-so activities to do with your students for on whatever festival, and stuff that really might not be relevant at all, stuff that might not actually be very productive, and that takes us out of our game plan. And really, most of the time, it's a bit of a disappointment anyway, because a lot of this material, it's neither here nor there. It's not solidly based on our students' needs. And it isn't the holiday, it's not the festival, it's not that much fun, just doing a word search with a couple of pictures of items from the festival, Christmas trees or snowmen for Christmas, for example, doesn't make it fun, because that isn't Christmas. So that's one point. The second driving point behind this clip is that over the 2.5 decades that I've been doing this now, as an interviewer, doing placement tests, doing in-house exams, in the classroom as a teacher, or doing a range of external exams, I've asked thousands of people, thousands of questions, and often festivals and holidays come up. And you ask somebody who's learning English, are there any festivals in your country? Can you tell me about a festival that you like? And their eyes light up. It's as they think, oh yeah, definitely. And then they launch into it, and after only a matter of seconds, they suddenly realise the mess they're in, because a lot of the terms for the things that feature in those festivals locally, that they don't have a straight corresponding term in English, or if they do, the learner doesn't know them. And so you see their eyes light up, they launch, and then the light goes out behind the eyes, because it's oh my word, I don't know the word for this, for that. So my point is, let's give them a decent, solid lesson in those last few lessons, and let's teach them those words, which for some reason, whilst we're trying to do these fun lessons, we never seem to get round to. And the technique is that we create a simple picture dictionary, and we use it to support conversation and writing in class, which guides them towards the use of those terms in the last couple of lessons. So they go away actually being able to talk about the festival and having a useful piece of materials. That's what I'm talking about. Let me give you an example. This is my Christmas Eve and Three Kings Day picture dictionary. It's a very simple affair. It's got 18 images, this one. There are some more I'd like to add to it. But this helps my Spanish learners talk about their Christmas. Let's see if I can get this closer up for you. So we've got here, you can see there, we've got the nativity models, the Belens that they like to put together, and you have wood chips, on the floor often. What else have we got here? We've got the Three Kings cake that has cream in it and little figurines. We've also got tambourines because people sit around and sing Christmas carols with their families on the 24th. We've got lamb there. This is quite interesting. These, my students will look at these and they'll think, in Spanish here it's mantecados or polvorones. But you can see there isn't a straight correlation. There isn't a straight translation. So I've had to go, what have I gone? Crumbly shortbread biscuits, what do I say? Made from flour and lard. I mean, they are quite special. I've got one here to show you. If you've never had one of these, the first time you have one, it can be quite a shock because they really are. They're pressed into shape, but they quickly crumble. This is a little bit tangential, but anyway. There you go. Some sesame seeds on top, and they really do. They sort of crumble very easily. So there is no straight translation for those. So what we've got on our picture dictionary is we've got a definition. You see? On the back, what else have I got? Again, this is for my Spanish learners. We've got the procession of the Three Kings. We've got different types of nougat, soft and hard. We've got the Christmas lottery. We've got midnight mass, Christmas carols, boiled sweets that the Three Kings throw from the procession. We've got prawns and ham that everybody eats, if they're lucky. So you can see here, I mean, I do a similar one for the Seville April Fair. I do another one for Easter here, but it's all very particular to my students. So I pop onto Google Images. All of these images, by the way, they're all from Wikimedia, and Wikipedia. And I thank the people who posted them. I'll pop up the credits and the links at the end of the clip. And I'll take the images, and you can see the definition is in English. Then my learners get those and they put in their L1 here. For them it's very easy because they see this and it's like, ding, I know what that is. So it's not a problem. We're not creating a problem here for them. We're making things easier. Once they've done that, then we give them a task that guides them to use the language. So that could be conversation questions that we have created. For instance here, I might create conversation questions. Have you ever, do you make a model of Bethlehem or a nativity model in your house? Have a whole set of conversation questions, and they can have this at their side, and if they need the help, they can look at it. That's one thing. The second thing is, write a paragraph or 2 paragraphs about what you plan to do this Christmas and how you think it might be different to last Christmas. They will naturally gravitate towards these as well. And then at the end of it, they can read those to you, they can read them to the class. We've got this language going round and round. They can take this away with them, and they have a very useful reference sheet for next year, because next year it's going to be the same, isn't it? And my point is, if nobody ever helps them with this language, then they're never going to know it, and it's going to happen. They're going to be in a sort of an eternal loop. So I recommend making one of these for each of the festivals that you work with your students, and it gives them the language that they need. Like I say, sometimes you really have to sort of dig around the mantecados here. That was tricky. I had to think about that. If you go onto websites talking about Spanish sweets and that, often they'll just give in and they'll just use the word mantecados or polvorones. Again, you'll find this for every country. When there's very specific things, even the websites for tourism and explaining culture, they just use the local word. But that's not going to help our students. It's not going to help them in exams. It's not going to help them actually explain the things if they have some visitors and they're talking in English. So it really is worthwhile working with the definitions and not just, borrowing the terms. That, my friends, I think is about it. So if anybody is in the Seville area and you think, I want that one, yes, I can send it to you. I will send it to you with 2 pages of credits and references for the images. So I'm being a good boy, but obviously you'll only be printing these off. But the real idea, and you can send me an email, there's an email attached to this channel. But obviously, as you gather by now, the real point here is that you make one of these for your students to reflect the local details of the festivals, and we're giving them the language that they need, we're taking away that bottleneck, and then they can use this when they do their writing, when they do their speaking. Right. Have a wonderful Christmas if you celebrate Christmas. Have a wonderful New Year if you celebrate that. Strength and energy with your teaching, and I'll be back in a couple of weeks in the new year with some more clips.